My life is a series of gaps in conversation, empty spaces where sound should be. Like the mesh in slippery fishing nets cascading from my fingers, there are holes in everything I own. My brain is a sieve, my mind is a colander. Information leaks out while chunky bits of useless trivia stay in. For example, did you know Janus, the Roman god of doors, gates, and transitions, has 2 faces, while Hecate, Greek goddess of crossroads, magic, and spells, has 3. But if I have 4 faces, what does that make me? Malaysian, Sarawakian, Kayan, white. Too much of one, too little of the other, never enough, no matter how much you divide it. Janus has 2 faces and Hecate has 3. But if I have 4 tongues, then what does that make me? Demon or divine, blessed or cursed? I wonder what it feels like to have your bahasa rasmi, bahasa ibunda, dan bahasa asal to be one and the same. Imagine language being a smooth, warm pebble that fits perfectly in your palm instead of jagged pieces of obsidian clenched in your fist. Imagine welcoming the weight and shape of it instead of hurting every time you try and grasp it. I have 4 tongues in my head, so please excuse me if I trip over my words. Bahasa rasmi ini yang bukan resmiku. This national language that does not come naturally to me, you see, it hasn't done me any favors. I guess it's only natural for a bridge language to have trolls gatekeeping it. But the price of passage seems so steep. You tell me to cut out my native tongue and replace it with another, and then ask me why I'm not smiling. You say there's not enough room on your One Malaysia brochure for people who talk like me, and then ask me to set aside my state-sanctioned skepticism for the good of the country. But the problem with assimilation is that it requires sacrifice, and I'm not feeling very generous today. My life is a series of gaps in conversation, empty spaces where sounds should be, and if you look closely enough, you'll see the holes in my tongue where all my words fall out. Jam kat dahun kayan? Can you speak Kayan? Sorry, Janjam. Ok tua. Sorry, I don't know, just a bit. Trypophobia when I talk, the words leak out, but the guilt stays in. Too white for the longhouse, but not white enough to justify the gaps in my knowledge. Abi nun kak jika belajar dahun Kayan? Abi nun, why don't you want to learn Kayan? Why not? No matter the question, my answer is always the same. Aku janjam. I don't know. My life is a series of gaps in conversation, so maybe it's time we talk this through, but please speak slowly. My mother tongue has gentrified my accent, and the Malaysian school system has successfully educated the Kayan right out of me. So please, speak slowly. My vocabulary is limited, but my ancestors' blood flows through me, tattoos, rice wine, and stereotypes. Am I Kayan enough? Simply because I say I am? What's in a name anyway? A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Lord grant me the confidence of a white man getting a bunga terong tattoo just because it looks cool. Even though the phrase Borneo rose, nang pola ku pere, because roses don't even grow in Borneo. What's in a name anyway? I am Kayan enough because I say I am. Old habits die hard, but after decades of ventriloquism of hearing your voice speaking through my mouth, I'm finally ready for something new. And even if I stutter, at least I know my words will be mine. I'm only recently learning to wear my flaws like I wear my grandmother's lavong. High on my Kayan forehead, adornment instead of handicap, the gaps and pauses and empty spaces where sounds should be woven in with the beads and feathers. Light peeking through the cracks like the mesh in slippery fishing nets cascading from my fingers. There are holes in everything I own, but I still wear them. I still wear them.